In 1993, a new car company was born in Korea. By 1995, they would make their way to America. We know them today as makers of the Optima, the Rio, Sedona, Sorento, and the Sportage. Kia. And behind me is a 1996 Kia Sportage. What's going on, everybody? I'm Andy, and this is That Car Vlog channel. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you guys, if you would, go ahead and finish the video through, just so you can get all the information. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at That Car Vlog channel. Let's jump right in. As I just stated, this is a 1996 Kia Sportage. This is, according to the sources I found on the internet, the second year that this vehicle was made. Also, according to those sources, up until 97, it was only available in this four-door platform, this four-door compact SUV. In 98, it underwent a slight transformation with a different grille, different taillights, and was offered in a two-door soft-top version, much like a Geo Tracker. All of these first-generation Sportages came equipped with a 2-liter dual overhead cam inline 4-cylinder engine producing 130 horsepower. This would be mated to your choice of a 4-speed automatic or 5-speed manual transmission, which is what this one has. They also came with optional 4-wheel drive, as you can see mine has. This engine and drivetrain was actually borrowed from Mazda because at the time, Kia, being a small brand new company, partnered with Ford and Mazda, used their parts but supplied their own low-cost manufacturing process. Walking around the exterior of the car, it's nothing much to see, pretty basic. You do have 15-inch alloy wheels all the way around. Have a rear-mounted swing-out spare tire, which we will get into later. It's part of how you access the back. And a luggage rack, presumably a semi-efficient traveling vehicle. All of the first-generation Sportages came standard with power windows. There were optional power locks, however this one does not have them. You got dual power mirrors. And of course, AC and heat climate control. Here on the dash, very basic, you've got your tach, your speedo, gas and temp. Also here you have your defroster switch for the rear window as well as your hazard light switch. Of course, your basic stocks, your windshield wipers, as well as your combination turn signal and headlights. All of these Sportages came with this dash clock. Hopefully you can see that time. It's on whenever the vehicle is turned on, or if you push that button you can see it. Here we have the 5-speed manual shifter. You also have the option again of a 4-speed automatic. And shift on the fly 4-wheel drive. At speeds under 15 miles an hour, you could switch into 4 high from 2 high, and under 35 you could switch back. Now, of course, to get in and out of 4 low, you did have to have the vehicle stopped. Looking around the interior, you can tell that it truly was a low-cost manufacturer. Not the greatest headliner in the world, but it does the job. Your dome light with these old-school buttons. Space in the interior is alright for an adult. Up front, headroom is decent. And legroom is fair enough. This seat is positioned for me to drive the vehicle. The rear, however, is a different story. We climb into the back. Keep in mind that seat is in my driving position. And this is me in the back. I can get my hand between my head and the ceiling, so if we hit any hard speed bumps, I'm going to hit it. And I don't exactly have a lot of room for my knees. So needless to say, unless you have an extremely short people sitting up front, tall people will not fit in the back. So no one at my house rides in the back except for my 7-year-old. or excuse me, 6. If he sees this video, he will correct me. Getting into the rear of the vehicle is a bit of a process. Down here is a small latch that you would move to undo the spare tire. However, if it's really slammed into place secure, that's not going to happen. So, come up here to the driver's footwell next to the gear shifter. You have your lever for your gas door and your tire carrier. Pull up on this one. Come around to the back, pull that latch, and the tire swings out. Now once the tire's out, you'll notice something else. If you're tilted slightly to the left like I am or on level ground, the tire will stay in place. But if not, if you're tilted slightly to the right, it's going to try to come back on you. So Kia has provided this little pin. Stick it down in these holes here, and now it can't come back on you. To get into the hatch, you have your button here with the lock built in. Push, pull up, and we're in. Back is very simple, yet somewhat useful. Here we have the access panels for access to the speakers as well as your taillight bulbs. You do have this small cargo light here, which may look brighter than it is on camera, but it's not extremely bright. I may replace that with an LED one day. Here, I assume the vehicle came with the option of a rear wiper and washer, because this looks like where the fill would be for the washer. Here in the floor, you have the toolbox. Lift this flap, open this small panel here, and inside you have the storage that contains your jack, your tire tools, if you can see them. And there's enough that I can put some extra stuff in here, like the case for my camera, some extra small stuff, gloves. Close that back, and it looks just like the rest of it. Now these seats do fold down. Pull here and push, and that can be done to both sides. They don't fold flat into the floor like Stone Go or anything like that, but if you do have to get something big and flat in here, or you just need more room, then these will do the trick. The source that I found on the internet claimed that there is 55 cubic feet of cargo space back here. I'm just going to go ahead and take their word for it. To close, simply throw the hatch down, remove the pin, set it back in its little holder, and close it nice and secure. Now, I assume that Kia really wanted you to know what you were driving, so it says Sportage in a few places. Here it is on the lift gate. The rear mud flap. The front mud flap. And the floor mats, just in case you forgot what you were driving. Another interesting fact about the Sportage, it was one of the first vehicles to offer not only a driver's steering wheel airbag, but also a driver's knee airbag. Oddly enough, however, they did not provide an airbag for the passenger. So, be careful out there. Another nice thing about this Sportage is back in '96, the EPA estimated this thing would get up to 19 miles per gallon in the city. Now, yesterday I filled the car up and I took some pictures. On this fill up, I had gone 203.7 miles. I pumped 10.652 gallons of gas. And so I did the math. Here's a screenshot of the calculator. 19 miles per gallon. 22 years later, and 119,000 miles later, this car still gets 19 miles to the gallon in the city. Quite impressive. Usually when you hear most four-cylinders run and rev, especially the older ones, they may sound like giant bumblebees. I do remember back in high school when I had my 94 Nissan pickup truck that had a four-cylinder. That's exactly how everyone described it. The previous owner of this one changed that a little bit and made it sound like an angry bumblebee. What you're hearing is a cherry bomb. Thank you, previous owner. Everyone hears me coming now. I don't know, it's kind of growing on me. Alright, time to drive the Sportage. Now during this drive, I will give you all a heads up, you may hear a little bit of grinding into second and third gear. I've not quite figured out why that's happening yet. I've never really had that problem with any vehicle before. Even as inexperienced as I was before getting this at driving a manual, I still never had that issue. So I'm not really quite sure what that is. Speaking of the manual transmission though, I do have to give props to Kia, or maybe Mazda, on this transmission. When I test drove this just over 2 weeks ago before buying it, you know, of course, having not spent a lot of time with a manual and never really having mastered it, I didn't really know how well I was going to drive it. But pretty much took off and didn't stall once. Really an easy manual to drive. My big problem was always starting out from a standstill, and absolutely no problem there. Just pretty much me getting used to the rhythm of the car, timing the pedals. That part's on me, but as far as the car itself, it's been remarkably easy. Anybody could get in this and learn how to drive a manual transmission car. And as we all know, that's a dying breed, those who are learning how to drive them, because, well, everything's coming with an automatic, a dual clutch, and you know, manual transmissions are a dying breed, but not dead. The first thing you'll notice driving this car is just how easy it is to drive. Being a compact SUV, as small as it is, I mean, you can literally see clearly in all directions. Of course, I added a couple small spot mirrors to my side views because A, I don't like blind spots, and B, I just like having the spot mirrors there. But looking in the rear view, through the back, of course the rear mounted spare tire and those rear headrests are going to give you a little bit of visibility problems, but nothing major, nothing to really worry about. Even though it takes almost half of the window, I still think I can see plenty out of it. Of course, you know, to either side, there's really, if you turn your head, there's not a blind spot. And that's a really good thing. Now, this isn't the quickest vehicle in the world. I watched a YouTube video shortly after buying it. They claimed that it got about 11 to 12 seconds 0 to 60 times. So obviously not a race car. Obviously it doesn't handle like a race car. You know, steering, yeah, it's a bit vague for it. It is an old compact SUV. It does feel like it could use an alignment, but of course it is 22 years old. The gear shift, you do got to get used to the gear shift a little bit, especially if you're big like me. You got your legs right here, almost in the way. There's been a couple of times starting out, I accidentally put it into fourth instead of second out of first, and yeah, I felt that. And vice versa, there's been a few times I've accidentally put it in third instead of fifth. So you just have to get used to how the gear shifter moves in it. I mean, if you can see this right here, it is a pretty wobbly shifter. So when you want to put it here, you got to drag it all the way over to that gear, would be reverse or fifth. second. But other than that, really, I have no complaints about driving this vehicle. It's, like I said, it's quite easy to drive, very maneuverable, very small, tight turning radius. Now, the one thing I will say is it does not like rainy weather. One day last week, I came into work super early, pouring down rain, over the highway about 50 mile an hour, and now it did try to slide around a few of those curves. Of course, it is light, very small. You know, it doesn't have the widest tires in the world. 215s, I think, is what this has got on it for the width. So, I mean, when it's raining, you got to be careful. But it's not super dangerous. It's not like driving a rear-wheel drive like a Mustang or Camaro. My Camaro I had, my 95, was way worse in the rain. Now, one big thing I've got about this car is actually I've been trying to find resources for repair, you know, whether it be repair guides on the internet or in print, and that seems to be a bit difficult for me to find. You know, when I had previous cars, even my 76 Chevy, when my wife had her Aerostar, I had my Nissan truck, my Camaro, my Explorers. When I had those, you know, I was able to go out to AutoZone, $25, buy a repair manual, or if I got lucky, found one on Amazon for like 10. And I'd have that Haynes or Chilton repair manual. Now, those manuals do cover both the Sportage and the Sophia of the time. Those were the first two models that Kia had. It seems to cover the Sophia, that was a little four-door sedan, size of a Geo, Metro, Mazda Protege, that kind of thing. It seemed to cover both the Sophia pretty much from the beginning. The Sportage didn't pick up until nearly the 2000s. And just, you know, from what I searched on the internet, topics I've searched, like the power windows and the horn and whatnot, that I got to get worked on, or that I have to work on. Even on YouTube videos, it's been quite difficult to find. So if anyone out there knows of any good repair guides for these cars, any good places to go, a good forum I can sign up for, that'll provide me with good information, I would greatly appreciate that if you'd you know, just kind of send that information my way, either in the comments below or on social media, because there are things we're going to want to know about this. You know, it is old, it's going to need more than just the few small things it does now in the future, I'm sure, because it is 22 years old. We're cruising down the highway now, about 60 mile an hour. I can bump up to 65, and it does pretty good. Obviously it feels small, it's kind of a windy day, so you feel that. You turn about 3,000 RPM at 60 mile an hour, but of course there's a small four-cylinder that do tend to rev higher. And even with a light amount of interstate driving, just, you know, if I happen to take that way home at night, you know, it still manages to get 19 miles to the gallon on average, which is a vast improvement over the 10 that I was getting in my Chevy. For those who started with that first video on my 76 Chevy truck, I do still have that truck, but I have stopped daily driving it because it needs a head gasket job. It's just, it's got the problems that a 42-year-old truck is going to have. Camera, but once you're doing 65, you can definitely hear that cherry bomb every minute. Now, if anyone out there is in the market searching for a good, small, fuel-efficient vehicle, it's cheap, I would actually consider this. You may run into a few small issues, but you're going to run into that in something that's 20 plus years old. You know, you're not going to avoid that. But I mean, this has been a good car. It hasn't failed me yet. Granted, I guess it's only been 2 weeks. But it's been good to me. The manual transmission, like I said, is easy to drive. It gets decent gas mileage. I got it for next to nothing, $1,000. And although it's not sporty, it's not fast, it doesn't handle at all. I've been pleased with it. I would definitely recommend this, at least based on these 2 weeks, to anyone that needs something like this. Look for the manual; they're good, and traditionally you're supposed to get better mileage in manual, anyways. I think that'll just about do it for this video. If you watched it all the way to this point, thank you so much for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when the next video comes up. Hopefully I'll be putting one up soon. I've not been doing them very often because, you know, it's been a little difficult for me starting out to get content. But hopefully that'll change. Hopefully it'll change this year. Anyway, like this video if you thought it was good. Thumb it up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at that car vlog channel. I'll put pictures up whenever I'm able to, and you'll know when I put videos up. If you don't hit that notification bell, you won't know when I put videos up, from what I've heard from other YouTubers. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good one. See you next time.